And what's important here is let's argue that this is a effect of a really popular candidate, right? Which is the common pushback we get. Let's say Trump is really popular and he gets a lot of the votes in some of these bigger places. Well, the problem here is, as we said, in order to mobilize voters to do this, it's not really possible to mobilize voters to create this effect consistently across all of these precincts. Why? Because you don't know what your turnout is going to be until after the votes are cast. You can't just target specific precincts. And this effect is across all the precincts in the district. And the thing is, humans, because of how we vote, there's not really a way for us to target and be like, all right, my precinct is going to get 60%. Let's mobilize all the Republicans in this band of precincts and get them to show up. And so we're not just seeing this effect in certain bands of precincts. We're seeing this effect across all precincts in the district. To put that bluntly, our concern is that humans can't create this effect because there's no way for you to coordinate the effect occurring. And to see this effect, not just here, but across multiple places, such as Philadelphia County, Pennsylvania, which is the most liberal county in Pennsylvania, to see this in Clark County, Nevada, Las Vegas, where they use voting machines, to see this effect in North Carolina and even in Florida, where we've now made public Miami-Dade. Why would you see that in the most liberal places in these states, the same effect? It really raises alarms. Now, I want to hear your concerns, your thoughts, your pushbacks.
No, listen, I mean, so we're basically at the end of our time, and I know you had 6 other slides to get to, and I just don't think we're going to get to them today. You've now made a number of new claims, which I would have to research, certainly, which is what I encourage everybody to do. I'm not prepared to rebut everything I just heard right now, but the impression I came away with from our first conversation was I am not at this point in any way comfortable suggesting that this was a rigged election. Before I let you go, if someone just said, hey, Nathan, what is the most direct single piece of evidence you have that points not to a statistical anomaly alleged or real, but rather to an actual manipulation or rigging? Is what you just mentioned it, or is there something more direct you could point us to?
Oh, we definitely have things that are more direct that I can point you to. And we've started making them public. So recently in Florida, St. Lucie County, the ETA has been working with Allison Green, independent investigative journalist. She started putting the findings on her Substack. It's up to us. And the concerns we're finding is we've actually been to these counties that are raising red flags that our statistics is showing is weird. I've actually been on the ground and done some door knocking. And we've looked at the voter registration database from the county's own records and compared it to who cast their votes and precincts that are highly anomalous. And we've started making this public. We'll be making even more of this public and doing some type of joint video. But I went to Florida. I went to St. Lucie County. I met with Allison, and we went to some of the places that were strange on the ground, and we knocked on their doors. And the first place I knocked on was in a neighborhood that was under construction during the election, and no one lived there. And we asked the residents who lived there after the election and the house was complete, hey, did you vote in the last election? They said, yeah, we voted in Palm Beach County. They're in St. Lucie County now. And we said, oh, okay, so you moved after the election. They said, yes. And then we said this. We said, well, what's interesting is we have your record right here, and it says your husband voted in this county for the 24 election. Are you aware of this? And they said, oh, no, that's weird. And that was the first door we knocked on. We then proceeded to continue to investigate, and we're now starting to make those further investigations public.
All right, well, I want to look at that in more